I feel like their opinions mattered, because they'd been on sets and they understood how hard it is for not only a filmmaker but a Latino filmmaker.
What's going on, everybody? Rob Mabry here, writer, director, and producer of The Legend of El Chupacabra and host of Texas Indie Film. Today on the show, I've got with me a director from San Antonio, Texas, Marcus Davila. Marcus, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining in and checking us out and supporting Rob on his show. He's got a fantastic project here, and I love to collaborate with like-minded people. And The Legend of Chupacabra was an inspiration, and to us, we made The Legend of the Donkey Lady, and we're like-minded souls here, creating films here in the Texas, landscape. And thank you for having me, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're going to get into The Legend of the Donkey Lady in a bit, but why don't we start out? Tell us a little bit about your filmmaker origin story. How did you become a filmmaker?
Sure. The short story is my wife went to Los Angeles Film School while we were dating, and I just really was enamored with film coming up from a young age. My parents would rent movies at the local shops, Video Central, Hollywood Video, later on Blockbuster, and we watch movies regularly together as a family. And I really look forward to these films, but also stored them in my database, and got a chance to recognize, hey, this is a little bit better than that one. This acting is better than this, and give my critiques. And I felt like one day I wanted to create a film. And my wife, when I met her, she was so apt to sharing her knowledge that she was gaining from film school with me, and we began the process of building our production company together. And my wife's the president of Lions Act Productions. I'm the vice president, and we take turns directing films. So we both get a chance to share, our thoughts, ideas, passions out, and then we support each other as we go along. And it's really been a fun process. And I've been working on a couple short films, and my feature film debute's coming out later this summer, early fall. And we're really excited to share it with the world, and for me to get a chance to bring my ideas, passions, and directing and acting out to the world, and just share it.
Yeah, so that film is The American Coyote. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Sure. The film is based on a young boy who is who has a happy life in Mexico until his father has his life taken away from a local cartel leader. The father never wanted to join, and the son's life is derailed after that. It really shows the effect of kind of what's happening right now between these young men and adult males in Mexico, and in other countries as well, not only there, but how being forced into a certain trade can affect their lives as well as other people's lives. Human trafficking is something that's affecting the world, and I wanted to show it and paint it in a film picture where people got a chance to see it from for its brutality, for its for its grittiness, what for its life-changing effects, and also the causes. So you'll see what happens to change this young boy's life, and he flees to America, but gets separated from his family and forced to work for a cartel. So you'll see his struggles, his inner turmoils, as he has to commit acts that are atrocious in human nature, but necessary for him to stay alive. And you see the effects of the people that are dealing with his actions. You'll see a mother who's mother of a kidnapping victim. Um, you'll see the police officers that are working with him as he's a dirty, we'll say crime boss, and you'll get a chance to witness different aspects that I believe need to be shown so that people understand human trafficking for a broader spectrum. of analysis versus hey, it's just kidnapping, it's just this. Well, there's a a terrible art to it, and it's created by these terrible acts that create the men that are doing these acts. I don't want to justify in any means. I didn't want to paint an anti-hero. I just kind of wanted to share a fictional story of some things that are happening right now, and just kind of raise the awareness for people to not feel empathetic towards human traffickers, but to understand that we need to get to the root of the cause if we want to change this and stop this. I'd like people to understand and see and not glorify these negative actions that these people are doing, even though it does bring a lot of money, influence, power. I want to show the true effects of what these acts are going to be going to fall upon these people, and show the people that are doing it in the act. And so it's kind of a wide eye look at human trafficking, but what built the human trafficker and the people affected after. And the coyote, the American coyote, is a human trafficker after once he grows up, but he's dealing with a lot of problems from other traffickers, from his boss, from the police, from private investigators, and he has all this weight on top of himself, and really no way out other than to continue climbing up the ladder, continue committing these acts, and you see the people affected by it. So it's a very dark, grim tale, but I feel like it's a story that needs to be told. And myself, as a Hispanic American, I felt like I had enough background and contacted enough people that I got the true stories of things that were happening. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that's terrible to watch, terrible to see, but these acts are being committed daily, if not hourly, and this is just from the Hispanic side. I know on other parts of the world it's being committed as well. So we're just showing a single pane of a multi-pane window, and just getting people to have a glimpse into what we feel is something that can be changed, that needs to be changed. And I feel showing it in a film would have been more effective than making a documentary about the effects of human trafficking and how they're trained, built, these men that are doing these acts.
Yeah, in the trailer for the film, there's a title card that reads "Freedom comes with a price,"
Yes, sir.
which feels like maybe that's the theme of the film. Can you talk a little bit about what that means in terms of the film, and who's paying that price, and what is it?
Sure. Um, Freedom to me is being able to do what you want, right? And having the ability to be able to make your own decisions and change your life's course. But it does come with a price. So for example, for the young man to have a chance at not joining the cartel, Efren is the young boy's name. He has to flee his family and leave to America, and so that came with the price. The people that he traffics for them to be released, that comes with a price. The people that are held hostage, and sometimes the prices are doubled, they're raised. These people are left into an almost a slave life where they have to work and pay off these debts for being transferred across. But so if you look at their life, then their freedom also, has a price. I feel like it has an almost mantra like effect where if people keep their eye on the freedom, then they won't worry about the price. And that's something that I wanted to show in a couple different aspects where people can see, like, man, so for this guy to be free, he's got to take out the boss, he's got to pay off the police, he's got to keep kidnapping. For this young lady to be free, her mother has to hire a private investigator, use all her savings there. For the police to be free, he has to go and work with this trafficker because they know all his family's information. There's a few different characters who are trying to be free and trying to hit that, but they're all paying different prices ultimately in the end. And I feel like as an American, this is something that we're God given, and we have a chance to learn, grow, and be exceptional at our whatever we choose. And this is something that's not given to other people. As a veteran, I fought for these freedoms. You know, at 17, I joined the United States Navy, and I felt that our freedom was worth fighting for.
Yeah. So, um, you've been at this for 2 years now,
Yes, sir.
right? Like making an independent
Yes, sir.
film is no joke. It's hard, hard work. Um, I'm wondering, have there been dark times for you through the process of making this film? You know, and if that's the case, like, how did you push through and get to the point, where you're about to cross the finish line with the movie?
Sure. I've definitely faced some dark times, and there were some depression, times that I've just didn't want to get out of bed, and it would go on for weeks, months at a time, and I knew that I had footage of this film, and it just my sanity was a little bit more important than the film at some point in times, and I just felt like getting a clear head and coming back to the film would be more important than just putting something out and just sharing it. Um, the first few months that I was working on the film, it was going good, and then it just wasn't going the way that I wanted to. So I kind of took a little break from it. I started working on the Legend of the Donkey Lady, and just wanted to kind of to gain that love and that passion back for my project that I had lost, and I did what I had to do. And in terms of sharing this short film, having the giving my energy to that, having the premiere, making the artwork, making the DVDs with my wife, selling those, trying to share the best short film project that I could. And you understand that when you have a new project, it's very difficult to have multiple running at the same time, especially without a team. So I could only love one person at a time, right? Like, and my wife is that person, but I feel the same way with film. I can only love one film at a time, and I was trying to balance too much on the plate. So I took my time, got it out my system, the short film, and then came back to filming. And then I realized that I had a lot of tools at my disposal that I didn't necessarily have when I started the film. So I decided to film more scenes, to work with some different actors. I had some better equipment at that point in time, and just trying to not put a timeline on the film, but just trying to create the best project that I possibly could for not only myself, but for the cast, for the crew, and for the people, for my supporters, so that they understood that I was giving my 110% to this project. Um, I was blessed enough to find an agent that has backed me up, inspired me to work hard, and has been able to get us international and national distribution for the film. So that added a little extra pressure, but also inspired me to know that people are behind me. That people want me to finish this. So those next mornings when I was worried about, stress and other things before, now I was able to concentrate and focus on, hey, you have a support team behind you. You have a great project that you've been doing. Let's get this closed up. Let's get it finished. And I got a chance to start building some scenes that I felt were very exciting, graphic, but honest and true to the story that we were trying to tell, and able to complete our arc the way that we wanted to. And now we're at the point where we're in the studio. I'm creating original score along with a music artist named DJ Kane, who's a Grammy Award winner, Platinum Award winner, and we have a studio that we're mastering the music at, where I didn't necessarily have these tools before when I first started the film. So just trying to bring all my tentacles out and bring all this positive energy in and put it towards a project and film that I feel is going to be powerful, that's going to be storytelling and something that's gonna that I can be proud of at the end.
Making a feature film a lot of times is about that momentum, right? And when that momentum sags, it's really hard,
Sure.
to try to come back to it. So, for you, like what was different about, when you started the project, and then, when you came back and you were able to push through and get it done for you as a director, like what do you think the difference was, and why were you able to finally, pull it off?
Um, I would say I got a couple of phone calls, and I won't name drop. I got a couple of phone calls from some famous actors, just to be honest, and they were asking about the project. And then I felt like, oh man, I should have just kept working on it, just kept doing it. I have people that I haven't even thought of that are waiting on something that I had started. And then I felt kind of embarrassed that I hadn't completed it to present to them. Um, uh, I'm I'm appreciative of the people that have put in the work to become famous actors, and I feel like their opinions mattered, because they'd been on sets and they understood how hard it is for not only a filmmaker but a Latino filmmaker. There's really a handful that have raised the bar to the point where studios are investing 50 100 million into their ideas, projects, and teams, and that's life changing, not only for the filmmaker but for his cast, for his crew, for the guy's pets.
Yeah, yeah.
And I won't say that money is the motivation, but I will say being artistic enough to know that you can share your project worldwide is. And I felt like working towards that, um, listening to these these thespians who had spent the time, who had been in the film industry for 20 years and understood how the doors opened and closed for people, and having them excited to see our film just from trailers and hearing about it and knowing the stories. I felt really inspired to push forth um, my best project and keep going forward with that.
I guess you get the contributions, right, from talent. Like everybody is pitching in, they
Sure.
believe in your vision, and you feel a tremendous responsibility, right,
Yes.
to deliver for them. So, even if it's taken longer than you might have hoped, I'm glad, that you're getting to the release of the film, which has got to be exciting.
Thank you. It definitely is. It keeps me up at night, wakes me up in the mornings, and now I feel like all that hard work is definitely going to come to fruition for our team that has put this movie forth, and we're excited to put it out.
Yeah. So you talked a bit about your wife Sabrina, her
Hmm.
influence on you, really, as kind of your mentor,
Yeah.
as you became a filmmaker. Um, what is it like? You're a filmmaker. She's a filmmaker. You've got a family. You've got kids. Like, how do you balance that? Make sure that both of you are able to pursue your creative endeavors, and still keep that balance at home. What's that like?
Sure. So in the beginning, we understood that we both have different talents and tastes in film, but we respect each other. So we pretty much let each other, whoever's directing, you have, you have the lay of the land. It's how you want, when you want, and you just let the other know how we can help. And we've done that. So when Sabrina directs, I'm just here to support. I'm not here to offer influence. I'm not here to change opinions. And because I want Sabrina to be able to share her passion, her thought, and not be swayed by anything. And she'll ask, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I do the same. I was considering editing the film so that I could have, a little bit of influence in how the scenes were brought together. But ultimately, I decided that Sabrina's more talented in editing, and so she's going to be doing the editing, and I'm here to back up and help her out any way that I can. But sometimes we just communicate about it and share our ideas, thoughts, opinions because. Um, I know that I can share this story and put it out, but sometimes you need somebody who's not so direct or close to a project to look at it and offer their influence. And that's something that I'm learning as a beginning filmmaker is to trust other people, being able to bring their talents. And sometimes it may be unforeseen, benefits that you get because you weren't aware of what they could do and they surprise you. And so now I'm kind of letting go of the reins a little bit and allowing, Sabrina as well as our other crewmates to to influence and bring some of their talents to the project. Where before I was a little more tight knit and kind of hyper vigilant about. What needed to be done, what needed to be shown, how it needed to be shown, and now I trust my wife. I trust her with my kids. So why wouldn't I trust her editing a film, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So
I, I don't think I'd put editing a film on my wife, but she definitely wouldn't accept that role either. So
Oh, it was okay. I get to lay back just for a couple of weeks, while she does it. But we some like on the Legend of the Donkey Lady. I edited that with Sabrina, and so the way we do it, we have a 3.5-year-old, and he's high energy, but we take him out as often as we can. We exercise in between, and then we just tag team. Hey, I'm gonna hop on and I'm gonna line up some stuff. Okay, so she'll watch Apollo, my son, and then I'll do that for a couple days or a couple hours, and then she'll be like, "Hey, do you need any help?" And I'll know that I'm a little fried or burned out from looking at the screen and working on these scenes multiple times, so I'll hop off and she hops on, and so that's kind of what's really helped us is being able to keep the studio in house, keep it rolling to where sometimes if there was a film that we had to do on short notice for a school, and we filmed it, edited, scored, and had it out in 7 days. And it's because we were editing hours after hours till 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I'd get up at 6, 7 after Sabrina had been up all night, and then I would start editing. So when the work is here, we do our best, and we don't worry about clocks, time. We just keep churning out the best that we possibly can here at Lions Act Productions.
so you play the lead role in the American Coyote.
Yes, sir.
Um, Tell me what that's like, how you manage, the responsibilities of being a director, which are tremendous on an indie film, with producing the sort of performance that you're expecting as a director.
Sure. There is a pressure, and it can be very heavy, especially when you have everybody's eyes on you, and that as an actor can be fulfilling, but also can be it can drive you to overthinking sometimes, and I rely on my wife to tell me if my voice is an octave too high, if I'm not acting aggressive enough, because in the end I'm playing a fictional character, and I can embody this character, I feel, and I can speak for him, but my voice is an octave higher than I'd like. So well, when I turn into the coyote, it has to change, but it has to be realistic too. So as I act, I want it to be personable, relatable, but believable, and that's kind of where I rely on my wife, my team to let me know, hey, is this good enough? Is this aggressive enough? Is this honest enough? Are we showing, what needs to be shown? And I can help and set up the angles and explain to my wife, hey, so this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm gonna do, and she can still give me that inference where, hey, take two, I want you to do this. Take three, hey, you're not doing it. And I'll take the critiques and build and work on it, and hopefully, in the end, people will appreciate the fact that I jumped in to act and lead the role in this film because I wanted somebody that was going to give 110%. We had an actor fall out the day of who just ghosted us when we were going to
Ugh.
start filming day one. I know you love those, right, Rob? And it was like, okay, so who wants to be the American Coyote? It's like, hey,
Oh man,
it was like,
talk
hey,
talk about having to pivot early on.
yeah. So
Wow.
so the whole time I had just been prepared to be behind the scenes, setting everything up, and being able to coach the people to the best possible acting that they could do, and that was my plan. But as you know, as indie filmmakers, sometimes the plan gets derailed, sometimes it gets washed, sometimes it gets changed, and
Sometimes there are no rails.
yeah, exactly. And as a veteran, that's something that was taught to us in boot camp is sometimes you just have to expect the unexpected and just keep rolling with it. And I told myself, hey, um, nobody is going to give as much as you can for this film because it's your first feature film. Like step up, let step in, take acting classes, do what you need to make this the best possible project you can. And I felt like I've been able to step into this character and get a chance to share some realities that people are going to appreciate seeing in the film. It's okay to hate me in the film because I hate me in the film. I do some stuff that's just gruesome, terrible. I cried watching one of the scenes later on after just seeing how bad I was to somebody, and that's the true emotions that I'd like people to see, feel, and appreciate when we create this film. It's that we're giving our best, but we want to tap into to that heartstring, and we want people to see like this is the reality that's going on for some, and that's what we're trying to share.
So, did you come into it with any acting experience, or did you feel like did you lean on being the writer, understanding the character to deliver the
A
performance?
little bit of both. My wife had this was during COVID when she was going to the school, so we couldn't reach out and get extras for her film projects. So okay, I get to be in film with my wife, and we did some projects for her school, some real short minis for her instructors, and she got A's on them, and got positive feedback on the acting, and so that really boosted my confidence and made me feel like, hey, I can do this. And when I was writing the character, some of it's based on very close friends that I've known over my lifetime, and I felt like I had witnessed enough that I could mimic a character that's realistic, believable, and growing up, I lived here in San Antonio, but my grandfather was from Monterrey, Mexico, and I would visit him in the summers and spend the summer there. And I felt like I understood the difference between the two worlds enough that I could bridge that gap and show a Mexican because this is my heritage. Fruitfully, respectfully, and the only knock would be my lighter, Spanish skin. I speak fluent Spanish, and I felt like I could complete this role, and it's something that's kept me up at night, sometimes worrying about how people will view it, see it, because it's a very different role for myself. Like I wanted to do something comedic in my style and in films and do something like horror, But being a dramatic actor, I had to reach and touch into emotions and show them on the camera and with 20 people behind and the rest of the cast and actors there, and just kind of open myself up to stuff that I wasn't ready before. But now, as I've done it more and more, I feel like it's a characteristic that I have, just being able to evolve as an actor, and I'm appreciative of the people that have helped me get here and the tips that they've shared. So it's uh it's fun being an actor, but sometimes it hurts. But isn't that life?
So the film is not a typical kind of bottle movie indie film, right? It's not like, two locations, four actors.
No,
It feels pretty epic in scope. I'm going by the trailer, but
sure,
it certainly seems to have scope for sure.
sure,
Um, Tell us a little bit, like, was that the intention from the very beginning? Did it just sort of snowball, or like it's ambitious, right,
sure.
to go after such a big story? And I'm just
Sure.
wondering, what was your thinking going into it?
When I began the film, I wanted to channel and bring in every location that I could, that I felt this could share a small piece of this story, and I had a few locations. As as a filmmaker, as I grew and people began to recognize the project, I had more locations available and offered to me. I had more cast and crew that were interested in helping, and it definitely snowballed into what I started over 2 years ago. In the beginning, we were looking at maybe 3 to 4 locations, filming and then putting it together, and that's it. We were going to make a short film and put it out through the through the film circuit and see how the festivals accepted it, and then tried to get a budget for a feature film. I met with a couple actors, and they had been on some pretty large projects, and they said, "Hey, you have a big story to tell here." I said, they would tell me, "You need to make it into a feature film and tell the whole story instead of trying to cram everything into 20 minutes." And so then
Yeah,
became
easy for them to say.
exactly. Then became budget cuts, where it's like, okay, well, we're making 2 hours, but look, let's see what we can budget and stretch out to what we can feasibly do and provide. And so we've done our best to share the story, and now we're looking at I believe over 20 to 25 locations. We have a cast of over 100, and we're we're excited to share this project that has definitely snowballed bigger into something larger than what we previously anticipated, expected. But we're really grateful for everybody that has been a part of this, and we want to lift them up by creating this film. Um, I know that there's films out there that are cheesy. I like seeing cheesy films sometimes. One of my son and I's favorite is the what's this? The Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And you can cut the cheese with a knife. That's how funny, goofy it is. But I didn't want to create a cheesy film. I wanted to make something that was art, that will be appreciated, by my children when I'm gone. I want them to see, like, man, dad put his, heart, mind, and soul into this film, and I can see the energy, that he put into this was his all. And that's what we wanted to do with this film, and that's what we're hoping people will appreciate. If there's a knock, it's a low budget independent film, but it's going to be shown worldwide in theaters. So there's some good aspects to it, we feel, and we're excited to bring this out, and God willing, continue to create some projects that are interesting, that are epic, but relatable.
Yeah, so you mentioned having distribution lined up.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about how did that come together? That's not typical,
Sure.
for indie films, although
Yeah.
it is good advice, right?
Sure.
To try to work to get distribution lined up ahead of time and be at least be thinking about that.
Yeah.
So how did that work for you?
So my agent, I had reached out and I had sent some clips to, and he had told me that the film is being shot well. It's it looks fantastic, and it's a story that's translatable, in the effect that we can show this worldwide, and this is a problem affecting different areas of the world where translating the film will still have an effect. And he offered me international distribution through Inorama Media Distribution. My agent is based in Athens, Greece, and we have the talent agency we're part of is one of the top 50 in the world, uh, based on IMDb, and we have a continued market where these markets are reaching out to Inorama for films, and he has people that are waiting on this film to be completed, and we have multiple bidders that are ready to distribute internationally. And I had reached out to a couple distributors here in America, and one of the ones that I felt comfortable with was Buffalo Eight out of Los Angeles, and I made some connections there and was sending, some of my dailies in the beginning, and they were like, "Okay, looks cool, good luck with it, and really got a little cold reception, but it didn't bother me. And so now, a year and a half later, I sent a couple more dailies, and they were like, "Hey, we can do something with this, give us the first shot, let us work with it." And I said, absolutely. So we're excited to be working with some distribution from Los Angeles, from Athens, that will help us spread this film around the world. And if I was to offer any advice to people, I would say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you make connections with everybody, and make positive friendships, and get it when they get a chance to see your project and film, they're going to help you more than somebody who had just sent a cold call in, somebody who just sent an email with their stuff. Let them get a chance to know you before you need them. Make friends in distribution. Make friends all over the crew. Make friends, that because those are the people that feed your, or that in catering. It's being a positive force is something that won't hurt you in the film industry, and that's something you want to be able to send out to the people that you do want their help from later on. Let them know that you're somebody that's worth taking the time, worth making the effort for them to speak up to their bosses to try to help you out. And I would say invest in those relationships 3 months, 6 months, a year before you're truly ready to need them, use them. In the end, it's a quid pro quo business. Everybody wants something for something. But if you've invested into them, and shared with them and provided, and helped them out before you ask for help, I tend to see that those relationships are more fruitful than the ones where you have a project completed, you don't have distribution. Now you're sending emails out to everybody. Well, you and every other filmmaker is doing that. There's nothing personable about that. You need something, so you're trying to get something from somebody. If you got a chance to meet this person 6 months before, you find out their birthday, you send them a happy birthday, you get a chance to know the person, you're gonna be more memorable to them, and they're gonna be more apt to helping you out if you have something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And that's a big caveat there. That's a big if, because you have to have something that's able to be shared. As we've seen, there's millions of dollars that are put into all types of projects, and they fail, based on different factors, whether it's the filmmaking, whether it's the actors speaking out, publicly, against, certain groups, and that there's multiple factors that can kill a film. But if you remain positive, if you let your cast and crew know, hey, everything that comes out about this film, about your life, is positive. After the film's out, go back to your regular scheduled programming. But if you keep everything positive, you're going to see a lot more positivity coming back your way. And I'd say, just reach out to everybody, make friends with everybody. If you don't speak their language, get a translator. But making friends in other countries is something that I felt strongly about, because we're all people in the end, and you may not speak their language, but films is something that's translatable, and can be shared if you have a project that can be appreciated in that aspect. So yeah, for me, I just try to be friendly with as many people as I can. I don't like to share anything negative publicly, even though I know things, obviously, whether they haven't gone my way with an actor, another filmmaker. I keep it bottled inside, and there's no reason to bring that negativity out and share that. That's not going to bring anything good. So I'd say
What,
just
Marcus? You're
yeah.
not going to jump on social media and flame somebody?
Um, if I do, they must do something really bad, and I will keep it vague. So I won't share a name, I won't share inferences on them, and I'll do it to vent. And I only do this once every
Yeah.
every harvest moon. But
That's
no,
that. My advice to filmmakers: just don't talk shit on social media. Like
no,
we just don't need it.
No, so for me, I trained boxing from a young age, and every once in a while there's a boxing gym I'll go to. I trained jujitsu for about 7 years, and once I get a break from these films, I'm gonna go back to the gym. It's just I would fight with people I liked, I loved, I cared, and I know. So there's no benefit to arguing with somebody online. There's no benefit to knowing something bad about someone and then saying it, and then they say something bad. There's nothing good that can come from that. If I can fight with people, and I love these people and I'm friends with them and we go out to eat after, it's got to be, heartbreaking, because then they realize, man, if it gets to the point where I got to fight Marcus, then we're gonna have to be friends after. So no, I'm just gonna not say nothing.
There you go.
Yeah, it's better
All
just
right.
keep rolling.
So speaking of keeping rolling, what's next for Lions Act Productions?
So we have a show that we're going to be starting for the Food Network about some young chefs being trained by a chef, and y'all will get a chance to see the growth that these kids had, and they're supremely talented little individuals, and we'll be filming that coming up. After that, we have another unnamed project I can't release publicly until we get that started, but that'll be next month. We have the Vaqueros of Hawaii that we'll be filming after my wife's film. We have a feature film called No One Cries for David that we're in pre-production for, and it's a very uh, interesting story. It's a true life crime thriller, and that's something that's here based in San Antonio. It's from an action that happened matricide in the early 2000s, and the young man went to prison, and his story has never been told from his point or perspective why he did this. And the young man has been in correspondence with us for a couple years, and we got the rights to share his story out. And so now people will get a chance to see why no one cries for David. And David, unfortunately, had been through absolutely terrible abuse his entire life. And so his only freedom, we'll say, was that he felt was, killing his captor, and he committed that, and now has had to do time in prison over 20 years, but his story has never been shared publicly. And so this is something that my wife felt very close and dear to, and reached out to him, and she has the rights. And so we created a short trailer proof of concept that we released online, and people were enamored by it, and it got a lot of great reception. And so now we're working on pre-production for that film and casting, and it's something that it's a way different story than the American Coyote. But I love that about Sabrina, that she's gonna pick and choose and do work with whatever she wants to, and I'm here to support. just like she has been for me. And we're gonna keep cranking films out. We got the Vaqueros of Hawaii, true story about the Mexican cowboys back in the 1800s who went to Hawaii to teach the Hawaiians how to manage cattle that had run rampant all over the islands. And so they gave birth to what's now known as the Pañolo, the Hawaiian cowboy. And 30 years after the Mexican cowboys arrived in Hawaii, the Pañolo won the World Cowboy Championships in Wyoming in record time. So it's this sharing of knowledge that I feel is important for this generation and future generations to recognize and film is the aspect that we chose to share it in. And so there's going to be some comedy in it. There's going to be some drama, but we pick different types of stories, but we like to pick relatable stuff to bring to fruition here at Lions Act Productions, and we're always open to filming commercials or other projects with other people. But for the most part, film is the heart of Lions Act.
All right. To support you as a filmmaker here in Texas, what can our audience do for you?
Well, the first thing we can do is just support by sharing our social media. Right now, we're not doing any type of GoFundMe's or any projects like that. We're fortunate enough to have producers that are investing in us, but your time is something that we would ask. We want you to watch our projects. We want you to share our projects. We want you to talk about our projects, and the easiest way to do that is just following our social media and sharing that for us. We have Lions Act Productions on Instagram. We have Lions Act Productions on Facebook. My wife Sabrina Trevino has a Facebook page and Instagram, and myself, I have a Facebook page, Marcus Davila, and just check in every once in a while, see what we got, share the trailer. That helps get us out to your circle, and just come out not only to our films but to other films, to networking events. Um, we're all appreciative of the hard work that it takes to make a film, but making friends is something that we can also do. So come out, make a friend as a filmmaker. If you know that we're having an event, go out to other networking events. You don't have to be part of the film industry to come to these events. You can come and support, make some friends, and who knows, maybe you will hop on a project later. But just support the independent film industry. We're sharing stories that are a little bit in the dark, and ultimately being collective as a unit of people is going to be how we can bring those into the light. And we'd love to support you back in any way that we can. So just let us know how we can do to help. And we appreciate y'all tuning in and checking us out. Thanks for checking out the Texas Indie Film Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. Appreciate you coming on today and talking about indie filmmaking. Wish you the best of luck with the American Coyote. Can't wait to see it, hopefully this summer. This has been the Texas Indie Film Podcast. I'm Rob Mabry, writer, director, producer of The Legend of El Chupacabra. Check it out on Tubi, Amazon, and Apple TV. I'll be your best friend. So until next time, take care.
Thank you,
And
Rob.
have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you. We'll see you soon, Rob. Take care.
That's it for this week's episode of the Texas Indie Film Podcast. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment. And if you're a filmmaker from the Lone Star State and you'd like to be a guest on the show, contact Texas Indie Film on Facebook, Instagram, or email at texasindiefilm@gmail.com.